we are already half of the semester is gone. So today's topic is PDF reports from PHP MySQL, and we'll try to run some code, and we'll learn some code and looked at it, that how to create PDF and gather data from database and print it on a PDF as a report form. That's our goal. So to do that, we are going to introduce you to open source library. One is called FPDF and the second one is MPDF. Now, MPDF is an enhanced version of FPDF library. And you can see we are telling that it is a self-learning. So self-learning, I checked it and I tested it. It's very similar that using FPDF and MPDF. So, and I provided the proper link so that you can play with that at your self-directed learning time. And this FPDF, so PDF is a very familiar format, portable document format, and F stands for free. So that's all about FPDF. And if you just go Google it, FPDF, you'll find this FPDF library. And this is a good source for creating PDF documents or reports from data taking from your MySQL database. And if you click on downloads, you will find this page and you will be downloading the latest version that's posted in August 28th last year. And you download this library. Now, if you click on tutorials, you will find very minimal tutorial like hello world, and you can see the codes are explained here. So I'm also going to explain those codes as much as possible while lecturing. But if you have difficulty, then please come to this website and read all those things. Also, you can see, click here, scripts. If you go in here, in this page, you'll find there are some like scripts or codes available here. Say, click here, text rotation. And here is the code. And here is the example. And if you click here, you can see the example here. The output will be provided in this, right? So they played with the text and rotated this text in different directions. And if you just click here in this zip link, you can download these code files. So you don't even need to type those code, and you can play with this function that play with this text. Also, in the manual section, you can find all those different functions that we'll be using in this code section. So if you're confused with any function, how it works, mostly we'll be using this cell function. We'll be using alias NB pages, add pages, cell, footer, and header. So mostly the lectures today, we are going to talk about all those different functions. So if you are confused, looking for an example on explanation, you will find all those functions here. So that's your backup resources for this open class or library. And now we are going to see the examples. Before that, a list of benefits or features is presented here in this slide. Let's take help from the machine and read these.
Choice of measure unit.
So those benefits are
Choice of measure unit, page format, and margins. Page header and footer management. Automatic page break. Automatic line break and text justification. Image support, JPEG, PNG, and GIF. Colors. Links/URLs. True type, type 1 and encoding support, on fonts. Page compression.
So if a PDF file is not encrypted or locked, then you can do all those different kind of editing in a PDF file. So the PDF file generated by FPDF also have those features. And when you create this using this FPDF library to generate a PDF file, you can use all those features in your file. So you can use image, you can use links, means URLs, you can use different text, their formatting, header, footers, margin, different type of fonts, true type, type 1, and encoding support. Page compression is like memory management. We are not going to talk about page compression in this lecture, but this is one of the features supported by FPDF. Say if you are generating 100 pages of documents, then you have to look for page compression. Otherwise, page compression is not a big deal for a small task, I mean. So those are those features, and you will find those features supported by all those different functions. So if you just curious about, just click one. What is set creator? So set document creator. So this is one of the functions, and they created, they have description and examples here, most cases. So let's go back to the slide. So our first job is to go PDF, FPDF website and download this. And you will find this FPDF 184. This is the version code of the library. And you have to unzip it and put it in your project folder. Now, if you go, say, let's say our project folder is, let's open a new tab. Here, C drive and XAMPP and htdocs folder, and say we have a FPDF generator folder. Say this is our project folder for now, and I already put it in under htdocs. And you can see I just simply download that and unzip it and put it here. And this is the library we added to the project. That's all. There is no installation, nothing. Is very straightforward. So when I open this, you will find a tutorial folder. If you don't like to keep it, you can remove it, that's fine. But I didn't remove anything. The most important thing of this library we need is FPDF PHP file and this font directory. So other directory is just for sake of knowing, but we need this, and we have to include this FPDF ph.php fpdf.php file to our code. So let's go back to the slide. So you can see this path, and we can put it in this library. And I just, in the next slide, so our aim is to import data or retrieve data or call data and put that data or print that data or write that data on a PDF file. So let's create a database. So if you go in your week, I posted this employees.sql in your week 9 folder. When you will be running the code, you can do that and say, let's go to the weekly thing. And this is the code folder. Excuse me. So we created it. So let's copy this code, or you can just import it, whatever convenient for you. Go here in localhost and go in home. I hope this is running. Yeah, it's running. And go in SQL. Paste this code, or you can import this code and create. So it will be creating a PDF test database and the employees table. And the employees table, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 columns. And I also inserted data on this column. Okay. Now next, establish connection. So if you go in the project folder, you will find DB Connect PHP, and in our project folder, you can see this DB Connect PHP. So this is straightforward. You know this thing. You will connect your database and it's PDF test that we created. And if function fails, then you will get a message from here. Okay, and this code is familiar to you. We already run such code in week 5 or 6, I believe. So I'm not going to talk about this code segment. Now, in the next slide, our real PDF generation is started. So, and this code file is PDF generator. And let's go to the project folder. And in the project folder, let's open this with Notepad. Okay, let's open it with Notepad file. I can just close all those. I don't know how to make the font size is bigger. Can you see the fonts? I'm not sure. Or maybe simply I can open it in. Now it's bigger. Oh, I'm not looking for this. I'm looking for this. So, in the very first, you can see this. We included DB Connect PHP, and we need it, right? Now we also use this library, and we talked about this FPDF PHP, and this is the path. And you know from our project folder, this is here under htdocs folder, and this is the folder, and fpdf.php is under this folder. So we just added path and include that file. Now, this is the classes we are creating here will accommodate all the content under this FPDF or PDF class. Now, in the very first, we are calling a function, or we are writing a function called header. And the header, we have two things. First, we are adding these, and this is an object. So we created an object called this, and now in this we are adding this image with this image function. And now this image function had some parameters, right? And you can see those are those image size and the locations. Now, if you just give search, you can find this image function somewhere. And Also in the project folder, I added a logo folder and put this logo to add to our text or PDF. Now this LN10, this is creating a new line or a line break, and this is the height of the spacing. So it's 10. You can make it 20, and it is in height. I mentioned it somewhere. I'm not sure in the code section. I believe I did in any of the code. So this is the line break height, and you can vary this code, this number, and you can find that. So let's go in set font. Now in this same object, we are adding different component and calling different component. This set font. So this is font name, this is bold, and this is font size 13. Now this cell is creating a cell. So its width is 80. Now if we go here, we are creating a space here, cell 18, and we'll be playing with the code at some point. So this cell is 80. So let's go, why not check it? So let's go here and localhost, can type FPDF generator, and will be, this is our code file. Okay, so this one is like there is a space from left margin to right? Now let's see if I change it to say 20 and save it, and let's go back to the and refresh it. Let's see what we can see. See this overlap. So you understand this 80 value is moving this box away from the left margin. So let's go back there. Why there are two versions of thing here? I should close one of them. There. Which one is new? I don't know. Now I save it, and this is again 80, so I turn it 20. So let's refresh the output again and see, it's turn 80. So you understand how this cell works, right? Now again, sorry, in the code file, let's go in the code file. Now again, we are creating the title, and we are writing the title text inside this cell function. Now what are those parameters? Now 80, this means width, this 10 height, this is a text. Now this is a border, so border has two values. Now this is, now I forget, I have to have a loop, and C means center, so the text will be appeared at the center of the box. Let's go back to the slide. So we are here. Let's go back right there. So in this slide, you can see this, we explain this cell function. And this cell function, you can also find that from the manual here that we are talking about. Let's close this one. And if I go manual, and you can see this shell, and you can see this all those parameters are defined here. So if you even don't like this slide explanation, you can actually go back to the FPDF library website and find the definition. So this is width, this is height, this is the text that we wrote employee information. This is a border, and border either 0 or 1 or LTRB. So you can have those explanation from the documentation of FPDF library. Now this one is position after cell. So start next line below. This one is true. So you don't need to use all those features. Rather, we just use only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We only took 6 parameters. And this is interesting. If you even ignore the other parameters, the function works. Like we only took cell 80. So that's created an empty shell to create a space at the left from the left margin. Okay, so we added this image and we created this shell to add the title of this page. Now this is the explanation of shell. Now let's go back to creating footer. So we already talked about this header section, right? Means the title and top. Now is the footer section. So we also, here you can see this footer code section. And in this footer code section, position at 1.5 centimeter from the bottom, and this is set Y. Now this is the font, and they use italic. Page number, you can see this, they created a shell, and this shell has all those value, and this page number function is giving a number. If it is a first page, it will give first page, second page, and this page number again. So that, and you can see a dot here, they just simplify the code. That's why I added a comment here. So this NB is presenting the page number. So it's 1 out of 1, 1 out of 3, this kind of. And the border, the spacing, I believe, and this is in center. So if we go back in the code again and refresh this code for here, and you can find this page 1 of 1. Now, if you make it say, what is the font here? You can make it bold, right? And save it. And if we go here in the output, refresh it, and you can see this is a boldface. So you know how to play with those code, and I hope you are understanding the different sections of this PDF generator PHP file. Now in this section, we are going to deal with our queries. So the table you can see in the PDF file is called in this section. And this object is display heading. So this heading is not the header. This heading is different. And this heading is creating an array with the column headers. So if you go back in the PHP My Admin, let's bring another tab so that it will be easier for us to have a look. Go here. Right. my gosh, that's slow. Okay. And PDF test. And these employees. And you can see all those column names, they are pulled in this array, and we are aliasing with those with ID, name, so that it look good in the PDF file. Then in result object, we are running this MySQL query function, and we are connecting. Then we are writing our actual SQL code, and in the header it will show column from where those are, if it die, right? If it don't work, if it work, then this part, and it is calling this table to put in this PDF. So far we explained 4 sections of this code. This one is including files. After that, we're creating header, then footer, then we call these SQL queries. Now, all of those will be putting on the PDF. So that code segment is started now. So this PDF object, we are creating a new PDF. So it is just starting initialization of a PDF file. Now we are adding a page there. So page number 1 is created now. And when a page number 1 is created now, actually, let's go back to the slide. I can explain you better if I go back to the slide. So we explained this, and we are here now. Now let's go back this add page function. So I'm opening this link to this, and this add page, I already tested this. In this add page, you can see this add page function here. And what does this add page function do? So adds a new page to the document. So we already added a new document, right? So we created a document. Now we are adding page to the document. If a page is already present, the footer method is called. So we already have a footer. To the output of the footer, then the page is added, the current position set to the top left corner, adding to the left top margin, and header is called to display the header. So this is the function, and you saw when I'm explaining those code segment, it is calling those header, footer, right? And the font which was set before calling automatically restored, and we set those fonts while preparing those headers, footers sections. So these let's go back to the code file. That's rather easier to explain. So it's adding a footer, and you can again look at this function here. Let's go back. Cell, or maybe here, FPDF manual, and here is this: define an alias for number of pages. So we are calling this define an alias for total number of pages. It will be submitting as the document. It will be substituted as the document is closed. The result, that result is called from this table, and this part is bringing all those different columns and rows from that database. Now finally is putting on the PDF file. And let's go back to the code here and refresh it. So logo means header, and the text, it is starting from footer, then header, then this table, and finally the PDF is close. Okay, so at this point, maybe you can now watermark. So watermark is important for various reasons, and especially in case of reporting. So we said like paid or pending, checked or verified. There are a lot of things, especially paid or pending is important when you are dealing with an invoice for your business. So I thought of probably it will be a handy tool if you know about watermarking with this FPDF tool. And when I was talking about the documentation in the manual, you see there is a text direction example. That's actually very important. You can use that code segment for positioning your watermark text. So let's read this section.
Watermarks are important to prepare reports, paid, pending, checked, etc. The next example will show how to watermark a PDF report/file. Environment setup same as before, slide 5. Download and unzip the watermark code folder and copy it inside the XAMPP /HiteDocs folder. Test the code in localhost.
Okay. So as I documented in the folder, so I created a watermark. Same way, you have to put this library here, and we need this FPDF PHP for displaying this watermark thing. Now, this watermark has two different files. So in the first example, we had a file that established connection between front end and back end. So that was our one of the required file, and PHP file, fpdf.php library. So that's we included. So here in this watermark, you will see the required file the same. This rotation PHP. So the rotation task is done here, and if the rotation file is open, this is calling this library. So ultimately that file is also calling the library. Now they created a class PDF rotate, and the first object variable is 0 angle, and this rotate function, again you can see here angle, X position and Y position. Now there are some conditions. If this is this, then this. If this is this, then this. Now angle, now out. Now this one is an unknown function. We need to know about this. Let's go back to this text we are generating, and this text is found in the watermark PHP. And the watermark PHP, you can see this, we started new PDF. Now we added add PDF. In add PDF, we added text type, and this is the text we are displaying there. So we can replace it with something small, Conestoga. So this is Control Z, and here Conestoga, and here college. And let's go back here. So Conestoga College. So the page is not filled because we only choose 2 words. And if I go back again in the code, so this segment is clear, right? And it is putting that text for 0 to less than 25, so 24 times. And now function rotate. Function rotate is rotating the watermark text. Now this one is putting the watermark, and in this watermark, this is the text is watermark demo, and the angle is 45. If we go back in rotate text function in the FPDF and manual and R, rotate text. Okay, I have to go back to this, rotation PHP out. And this watermark. Text color, that's okay. Font, and this is rotated text. If I make it 90 degree, let's see what is the effect in the output. Yeah, you can see it's turned 90 degree. So this function is controlling the direction of the watermark text. So I can put it is 45 again. And those are the locations of X and Y location of this thing. Now function rotate angle X and Y text rotate 0. And this is creating a new page. Okay, so let's wrap up. So we are calling this function rotation PHP. Then it is working on the header, and that's actually calling this header means this watermark text. And in watermark text, this is handling the rotation of this thing. Function rotated text, and is created a new page and put all those text and all those text rotated text around its origin. Let's put here 10 degree, rotate 10, and let's see the output so we can see. Yeah, so this function is for actual text or content. So this is for actual text or content. So this function, say, we don't need to worry about this function because say you are putting or calling some content from the database and you are printing it to the PDF page. So we are not worried about that. We only, so say if you created a bill or something or a prescription of a doctor, you are putting those text in this function and you don't need to play with it because that will be putting on the right direction of a page. Only this one goes, say if you put 60°, then this function will turn the watermark text into 60°. If you make it 0°, then it will be horizontal. Let's see, make it just 0°. So it will be horizontal like the normal text that we are looking for here. Yeah, 0°. Let's go back, change it to 45. Now, only confusion about this code segment is the value of Q. I'm not sure what is this function is doing in this code. I'm still confused with this Q and I don't find any explanation for this. But remember, again, this Q value is only changing the direction of the content. And we also want everything, say you are making this a prescription or a transcript or a mark sheet, you don't need to worry about the changing things because it will be horizontally from origin to end, from starting of the file to end. So I'm trying to find where this Q is coming from, but I'm not sure yet. But you only need to call this rotation folder, rotation PHP, to change the direction of the watermark text. And you can control this watermark text direction from this function header. And this one is from the actual content. You don't need to worry about this. So you don't need to change this code. And this code is same as the previous code, adding a new page, add a page, then you added the content. I'm sure, I'm sorry, like I had a interruption today and you saw that